Are Messianic Jews deceptive? Is there a strong movement in Christian circles to send Gentiles in as missionaries to the Jews, posing as Jews? There is a story that is still shocking the Jewish world worldwide. It's also shocking the Messianic Jewish world and the evangelical Christian world that's hearing about it. It's a story of a man named Michael Elk, a man who was born as a Gentile into a non-observant Christian home, married a Gentile woman. Both of them had become committed Christians, began attending a Messianic Jewish congregation in Pennsylvania, ultimately dressing now like an ultra-Orthodox rabbi and posing as a rabbi and getting documents indicating that he was a rabbi and a Jew, and then with a second wife, having divorced the first, now with a second wife, and claiming that she's Jewish also, although from what I've read, she grew up on a Christmas tree farm. They go to Israel and pose as ultra-Orthodox Jews, live in that community for years, get found out some years ago. And he says, yeah, I repented of that missionary stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just living as a religious Jew, and continued to live in another religious Jewish community in Jerusalem, and then was found out and exposed. And then it hits the larger world, because here you have clips of him, an ultra-Orthodox scholar, sitting on a TV show with Rick Joyner years ago, openly talking about Jesus, and apparently supported by Morning Star as a missionary. And when I asked Rick Joyner about it, he said he's an ultra-Orthodox rabbi living in Jerusalem and very bold in his faith. So that's what Rick understood. I said, well, there are accusations that he wasn't a rabbi at all, that he certainly wasn't Jewish. And that was the first, when I shared that with Rick, that he had heard about it. So is this a common practice? Forging documents, getting into a community illegally, claiming to be someone other than you are. I'm talking about in terms of your religious faith, okay? I'm not talking about being pragmatic, that you don't shout everything from the rooftops all the time. You know, if you live in a country like North Korea and you stand on the street corner preaching, that's the last act you'll do in public, right? So you may keep your Christian faith hidden more and share it in more wise ways. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about claiming to be somebody other than you are. You know, claiming to be, say, an atheist professor at a communist university and denouncing Christianity in your classes while secretly proselytizing. Are these common practices, especially in the Messianic Jewish world? Well, according to counter-missionary Rabbi Tovia Singer, they certainly are. Listen to what he had to say about this.
There is a very serious problem, not only here in Israel, but in Jewish communities throughout the world, in North America in particular, where missionaries infiltrate the Jewish community. They portray themselves as Jewish when they're not Jewish, portray themselves as rabbis when they're not rabbis. We've had so many cases like this. They're kind of taking their cues from Paul, who made a lot of claims for himself. When you see missionaries on TV, on YouTube, talking about, we have Orthodox believers in Yeshua, we need to support them. That's what they're talking about. There's a whole funding thing for these people who have clandestinely infiltrated the Jewish community.
All right, first, all the Messianic Jewish leaders that I know in the world, the senior leaders of organizations like Jews for Jesus and Chosen People and One for Israel, we're all emailing each other. Who is this guy? Have you ever heard of such a thing? What in the world is going on? What's this guy doing? What was he thinking? Who supported him? We never heard. We're all baffled. We're all emailing each other. I can show the email trends. Like, what in the world is going? Who is this? What are you talking about? Why do you think you have organizations called Jews for Jesus? I would say that is pretty clear as to where people are coming from. You know, Chosen People Ministries. And you go to the website, we exist to bring the gospel first to the Jewish people. One for Israel. You go to their websites, testimonies about Yeshua. I give example after example of Jewish-based organizations that do Jewish outreach to Jewish people over the whole world. That anyone that knows me knows I am a Messianic Jew, knows I am a Jewish believer in Jesus. There's nothing secret about it. There's no mystery about it. The Messianic communities in Israel, people know who they are. They get opposed. You've got ultra-Orthodox Jews trying to get them out of the country for various reasons and keep them out of the country from coming in because people know who we are, because we're not ambiguous about things. As to this idea that there's this whole funding thing for all these alleged secret Orthodox believers, I actually know a few. It's very, very few ultra-Orthodox Jews. Now, there may be more. I was told by one that there are many more, but it's none of us know who they are. I couldn't even find the people. I have no idea how to contact any of them. It was that much that they were not revealing who they were, but they'd lived their whole lives as religious Jews. They were raised as religious Jews, lived their whole lives as religious Jews, part of religious Jewish communities, came to faith in Yeshua. One guy told me there's a network of them around the world. I don't know that. I've never met them face to face. I had one phone conversation with one guy. Years ago, I met another that was a secret believer within the community. But in other words, they were religious Jews that came to faith in Jesus. And they continued to live in their community and privately might share their faith with someone. Just like if you had some views that were a little different than the community you're in, you may just share it privately. But they were authentically religious Jews. And none of them that I knew of were financially supported. None of them that I knew of were getting financial support for what they were doing. Again, I couldn't even contact them. So this whole idea of, there's this. The one that I know that I can be in contact with, he's as authentically religious Jewish could be, and over many years of prayerful studies, convinced that Jesus is the Messiah. And that's it. In other words, there's not some covert missions thing where we've got all these people sent out. And none of us would dream for a split second of getting a Gentile to claim to be a Jew, claim to be a Jewish rabbi, and then infiltrate a religious Jewish community as such to secretly make converts. That's abhorrent to us. That's completely abhorrent. We do the opposite. We get blasted for being so open. You say, well, what about people claiming to be rabbis that are not? Oh, that's a fair question. In the Messianic Jewish community, right? So Messianic Jewish congregations, there are hundreds of them around the world. The leaders are only called rabbi, not in Israel, but in other parts of the world, they're called rabbi. Why? Because that's what you call a congregational leader. In Catholic Church, it's a priest. Protestant Church, it's pastor. Jewish community, rabbi. Is it misleading? Yeah, it could be. But I mean, many of us say, yeah, I'm Gentile. They're not lying about who they are. You say, well, what about the ones that dress up like religious Jews? I always tell them not to. I'm telling you, if that's not who you are, that's not your background, don't do it. It's deceptive. It's misleading. It sends a wrong signal. And if you're a Gentile, you don't need to dress up as a religious Jew. That's not going to make you more spiritual. I've actually written about these things because every so often I see it. When I see it, I warn against it. And none of these people, or anybody, in other words, they're not known, they're not proselytized, and they're just somebody Gentile going to a Messianic congregation in Kentucky dressed as a religious Jew. I'm like, what in the world are you doing, man? But Tovia Singer has more to say. Let's listen.
The actual leaders of the Messianic congregations rarely, if ever, convert Jews to Christianity. It's almost unheard of. And this is what people don't get. People think that the leader of the Messianic congregation, he's the one that converts Jews to Christianity. That almost never occurs. They themselves don't directly evangelize Jews, but rather they instruct evangelical Christians how to effectively witness to the Jews. I am sure there's some of you watching me right now who know of someone who got involved in one of these groups. And if you ask that cousin of yours, who is the first person to witness to you, I can almost assure you it'll be someone who was never Jewish and someone who is not a professional missionary. The danger here is that it's against the law to evangelize children in this country. You can't evangelize minors. It's a law in the country. And the way the missionaries frequently circumvent this law is by getting their children to evangelize other children, getting their children inside the system.
False. Number one, the reason that evangelical Christians talk to Jewish people about their faith is because they love Jewish people, just like they talk to Hindus and Buddhists and atheists and nominal Christians. They share their faith. That's what evangelical Christians do. And the reason they're often the first ones to talk to Jewish people in America is because there's so many evangelical Christians. Yeah, I'm glad that it was evangelical Christians who shared Jesus with me as a teenager. I'm glad they did. But as a Messianic leader, the Messianic congregational leader, they're sharing their faith like anybody else. Last week I had in the air with me Sam Nadler, Messianic rabbi for many years. He's always sharing his faith with other Jewish people. Oh, and Gentiles too. As for within Israel, the believers there are super careful not to proselytize minors because it's against the law. And they'll tell me we're having this youth gathering, but everyone has to sign. They have to have permission from their parents before they can come. They were the ones that told me about this many years ago. They said, oh, yeah, it's the law across Israel. Very important that we honor that and keep that. So if we're having a youth gathering, the kids cannot come without express permission from their parents. Don't listen to the lies of Rabbi Singer. Get to the truth, and let's focus on the real issue. Is Jesus the Jewish Messiah or not? That's the issue. And we are forthright, open, bold, clear. This is who we are. This is what we believe. Jews for Jesus. We're not ashamed. Hey, friends, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, click on one of the boxes on the screen, check out another one of our videos, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. You know, we discovered that about 60% of you that are watching our videos aren't subscribers. So subscribe today. Doesn't cost you a dime. And if you want to support our work, Line of Fire, and all the things that we do, follow one of the links on the screen below.